Hi, this is Mr. Minnick, and I'm going to show you how to add a countdown timer to a Visual Basic project. Here we have a in the works version of the Maze 3 assignment in my Visual Basic class. And when this program runs, which it's running right now, when this program runs, the user moves Pac-Man around with the arrow key. And let's say that this was a complicated maze, and we wanted to make this program automatically end and consider the player a loser if he doesn't finish the maze in, say, 4 seconds. You would normally have something like 60 seconds, but I'm just going to make it really short and say he has 4 seconds to get to this spot right here. So how do you do that? Well, you will need a label that is on the interface that will show how many seconds are left if you want to be nice to the user. Otherwise, it's just like unknown, and they would have to count for themselves. So I'm going to make a label, and this label, I'll probably name it like LBL time. Might sound good. So LBL or game time or something like that. For now, I'll just name it LBL time. And I don't want it to say label 1 in the text property. So let's go to, first, I'm going to change its border style property to fixed single. And I'm going to change its auto size property to false. That makes the label nice and set off a little bit. I'm just going to tuck it in the upper right corner there. And I'm going to strike out the text property so that it starts at the number 4. Eventually, you'll probably want there to be more seconds, but in this really simple maze, the guy's just going to get 4 seconds. And it looks like that label's too big, so let's just make it nice and small. There's probably a way to center that 4, and I'll let that for you to figure out. Okay, well, when the program runs right now, obviously nothing's going to count down because I did not add any code that makes that number 4 go to 3, to 2, to 1, to 0, and then bingo, the guy's considered a loser if it gets to 0. So how do we do that? Well, the way I teach that countdown timer in this course is for the student to use a timer object. So double-click timer here, and is add a timer to your object to your project, and it should use the prefix TMR, and I'm going to name this TMR game timer, or just TMR game, but let's go with TMR game timer. You do want to set the enable property to true so that it starts right away ticking down the seconds. And the interval, if you read my lecture notes, by the way, the interval that would be good here would be 1,000. What are the units? Volunteer for this period 7-8 2013-14 class. What are the units of measurement there on the number that's stored in the interval property, Bailey?
That would be
1,000 what? Milliseconds. Very good. Just for the record, Bailey got that perfect with no thought at all. So 1,000 milliseconds is equivalent to 1 second. So in other words, each second that goes by, we are going to make this timer execute. And so now let's double click in on the timer. Let's double click it. And this tick method executes every second. That's what I'm saying. Every second, because this is at 1,000 here, every second, and because this is enabled equals true, every second, as soon as I run the program, this timer is ticking. In other words, this code, any code that's in here executes. Do not put a messagebox.show annoy me here. If I were to run this program right now, we would get 1 message box every second for the rest of our life until somebody pulls the electric cord or force quits this program or something. I will not do that. Period 7-8 2013-14. We have better things to do with our time. But what we do want to do, now follow with me, we do want to make that label, whatever number is in it, we want whatever number is currently in its text property, we want it to subtract 1. Can you subtract 1 from a piece of text? Can a string have -1 applied to it? I'm not sure. Let's pretend. Let's run the program and see if right now that 4 changes to a 3, then changes to a 2, then changes to a 1, etc. I'm running the program. It worked. Well, it kind of worked. It's now going into the negatives, and it will never stop. Maybe it'll stop when it hits negative 2 billion approximately and gets to negative like overflow. But I don't have that much time to wait. So this is not ending the game. So I need an if statement. Think about it. Stop the program here. If LBL time.text is less than 0, then application.exit. So it's going to test this condition every second. It's going to keep checking, are we at 0 yet? Are we there yet? Are we at 0 yet? Just like you in the backseat of a car on a long trip when you were 4 years old or 5 years old. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And every second you're asking your parent, are we there yet? And if we are there, mom or dad says application.exit. So let's see if it works. Now, I'm going to run the program with that extra code there that you can copy and type out in your programs. Oh, it did! I had 4 seconds and the program stopped. I didn't even have time to get off the starting line there. I was like so busy talking. Let's jack that 4 up to like 14 so I have like some real time. I'm going to go over there to the property, the text property for that label, and change it to 14. And just give me time to breathe here as I run the program. 14. Okay, let's run the program now. And now I have a leisurely 14 seconds to go around the maze. Oh, what's going to happen here when I hit my label? Oh, he goes behind. It's kind of cool. Wrong. I'd take a point off if that were your project. Up. Epic fail. Just didn't make it to the finish line. So there you go, folks. There is a crude, simple countdown timer that I will summarize here. We added a timer to this project. We enabled it, true. We changed its interval property to 1,000. We added a label so that people can see how much time they have left in the game, which we don't have to do, but it's kind of nice. We put it in a tucked away spot of the form. Maybe the lower right corner would be better here. And maybe you want to center that and change the color. That's for you to express yourself. And then we did an application exit. But the guy can't restart. So I really don't want application exit in there. Maybe you want to call the method game reset instead of application exit. Maybe a call statement to game reset. So now, 14 seconds from now, it's going to call my game reset method, which hopefully does not do the Pac-Man dying sound. Because I didn't, well, yeah, I did die. Actually, we probably do want to play sound Pac-Man dying. Let's see here. Okay, it did reset. Although my reset method is currently pointing his mouth in the wrong direction. If you want to add that extra touch to your project, make sure at least that you point him in the right direction with the right graphic. That's for you to figure out later in the week. I'm not going to do everything here for you. Oh, we have a question. I'm going to go off air right now and take Nathan's question. Hey, that's a good question. Nate, what's your question?
Okay, so I was running my program, and when I get down to the 4 seconds and the game resets, the timer keeps going past 0.
Oh, look, that's happened on mine too. Look, I'm already in the negatives because the last time I ran the program, that text property was down at like negative 15, and now it just stops from there. I'm going to stop the program and restart it. Oh, no, it doesn't reset between executions, but you're right. Something's wrong with this. So we have a potential answer here from Bailey.
Okay, what I think you should do is go to game reset.
Yeah, go to the game reset method and
you should also add LVL time.text equals whatever you started the timer.
14. I did it right there. Reset timer. Let's add a little comment here. Reset game timer so that people aren't, when the second time they run the program, they're not punished. They get a full batch of time. So there's my game reset method. Oh, while I'm in there, I should make sure his mouth faces the correct direction. Well, I know my code well enough to quickly come in here, and when he moves right, he should have this graphic right here, which I need to copy and paste. You might not have learned how to do this fancy stuff yet, unless your name is Elvis, because you did it like months ago from reading ahead in my lecture notes. I still remember. But now, in my code, in my game reset method, I have this line of code that does pickplayer.image equals blah, 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 pacmanwrite.gif. So now when I run this program, and I'm not going to waste 14 seconds of our video time here, I'm going to change it so I only get 4 seconds to run the program again. And let's see now if this program runs more cleanly when I lose on time. Okay, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, yep, it did reset. It put the clock back at 14, and it did face him with a mouth going right. The reason it went back to 14 there instead of 4 is because I forgot to change in my game reset method that 14 to 4. So maybe you want to use a constant up here above public, near public class form 1. You might have const total. Let's just call it game time, with all capital letters for good style, as integer equals 4. And you put a little comment there on your own time. Now I can use this game time variable, constant I meant to say, right here instead of the hardwired magic number of 4. This is better style, Shelby, because now future programmers don't have to like nose around in the code to change that 4 to a 14 or whatever number they are in the mood to change it. Up here at the top of the code window, it's easier to spot that number 4 and change it to whatever time you want. And then we can reuse that game time in future situations where we might want more flexibility and just more powerful things to happen. Okay, one last execution, and then I'll sign off here on the video. One last time. I only have 4 seconds here to try to get through the maze and look at resets. Does the guy know that he lost? Not really. There's no message box that popped up. You could annoy people with message boxes, but you could also say something like time expired, perhaps maybe up in the form text property, like right here. Me.text equals game over, too much time, or something like that. Either in a message box or up in me.text. Try it out, you'll see what it's doing. You may or may not like it. And one other thing I forgot to add, I need to play sound Pac-Man dying, because that sound effect is also what would help the person know that they lost. Pac-Man, play sound, Pac-Man diving with double quotes around it, 0,1 just because it has to be there. That's the same code that we put the other day in our key down method where we had collision detection. Remember this code right here? You can copy and paste if you wish. Okay, now finally I should have it all working nicely. Ready? 4 seconds. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why is it playing every second? Why is it doing Pac-Man dying every second? Oh, because I needed to put that play sound command in the if statement. I put it in the timer tick method and not buried that, and the other line of code should have been in the if statement. I know some people figured it out, but I'm trying to keep this video short, so I answered the question for you. There, that looks good. When this video gets posted, you can see the code there and ask me questions in the future. Have a great day.